Hey guys, so here is our video of our campsite. This is our camper. We have a Coleman Rubicon. And here is the wagon that we haven't been able to get yet, or that we really don't need. We just use it to bring out our stuff. But look at this back here. And over here, there are trails that you can walk, and it goes back to almost the front of the property. But look at these rocks. How cool is this? Then we got some good trees for hammocks and a good cover. I just didn't put my hammock out this time, and it's kind of late to do it now. But this is always our campsite when we come to this specific state park. We only go to state parks to camp. We like to support the local Texans.
We went to that KOA park that one time, and it was nice, but it wasn't what we were.
Yeah, but we didn't have to pay for it because we were trying out the camper. So
it just wasn't the type of atmosphere we were looking for.
And this is our food that we're cooking. We have chicken, broccoli, shrimp, and potatoes. And then I'm going to cook some rice inside. But we're kind of off in our own little secluded area back here. There's 2 other camp spots, but when we got here yesterday, we were here by ourselves.
I should have brought some chili crisp oil.
No.
It's delicious.
No. This is what's getting us around our house.
So, Marcia went and picked the camper up on Wednesday evening. We have literally done this 100 times, and she picks it up with the camper. With the Sequoia. She drives it to the house, parks it, hooks up the shore power, and we leave it overnight to cool down. And then we put the groceries in it the next day when the freezer is already freezing and the refrigerators come down the temp. For 3 years, we've been doing it the same way. This time, we went out to check it, and the refrigerator was not cooling. Freezer was not cooling. Light was coming on. It was getting power. This is the second GE residential RV refrigerator that we've had put in. They're about $1,000 to $1,200 for the unit, and then another $300 to $400 to get them installed if you don't do it yourself. It's a pretty common problem on this Coleman 1608 RV. So what Marcy and I are going to do is we're going to pull that refrigerator out. It's a direct wire, so there's no plug back there. So we're going to pull the refrigerator out. We're going to brace it, block it, and then we're going to put in a refrigerator that we buy from Home Depot or Best Buy or something, a 3/4 refrigerator.
Or Facebook Marketplace.
Or wherever. The point is we're going to get a smaller fridge, but we're going to buy one that's readily available to everyone.
Our refrigerator is a 3/4. It's not like a full size, it's just 3/4, but it's still called a residential.
It's a nice refrigerator, but it has its problems. It's really common for these to go out, and it's the lower end. It has no bells and whistles. So you turn the power on, it cools down. You turn the power off, it heats up. It's not 12 volt or propane or anything.
It's not an in-between kind of situation.
So we also, when we do that, we're going to have someone. I won't do it because the current one is a direct wire, meaning that the 110 is directly wired into a board, like a motherboard, a circuit board, directly in the back of the refrigerator. So what we're going to do is have somebody who can deal with electricity to put a 110 plug in essence. And then when we buy the refrigerator, it'll just be like one you'd buy for your kitchen, and we'll plug it in. But the thing is that Marcy and I, when we decide to tackle something and we say we can do this, we do it. So I don't think this is anything that's beyond our abilities. The hardest part, I think, is going to be getting it in a position where we can brace it so it doesn't move around during travel.
That's
But
why they make pool noodles.
yeah, so some people put pool noodles on the sides and the back so that if it does move a little bit, it's not hitting the walls. The other thing that this gives us the opportunity to do that we don't have now is it gives us the opportunity to add a little bit more space between the sides, the back, and top of the current refrigerator. We don't have that. So with this new refrigerator, we're going to make sure to maintain 3.5 inches all around for airflow. That will help with cooling a little bit. Frankly, we live in Texas, so when it's summertime, nothing really helps cooling. I mean, even with the air conditioner running all the time, we get it to about 76, and consider that
The refrigerator?
comfortable. I'm sorry, when the air conditioner is running.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the air conditioner. I mean, not the air conditioner, the refrigerator, but we do also put a bag of ice in the freezer.
Yeah, that helps.
And that helps cool it down. Also, we put stuff in there, like I said, to travel, and with that bag of ice in there, it helps keep the temperature down until we get to where we're going.
That's a really long and boring way of saying that we're living out of a camp cooler right now. We have my brother-in-law loaned us an Arctic cooler. That's where all of our food is in ice.
See, it's right back there.
Yeah. The other thing we noticed is we have this happened within about 2.5 weeks from the last. We had a camper with us about 2.5 weeks ago. We come in this time and we see that we've got a water leak that actually had leaked into the near the fridge, kind of not exactly there, but
it's
the
like
particle,
a front trim piece that goes over the door.
It's like a piece of particle board, and so or whatever they call it, compressed wood. And what happened is it got wet, so it basically just expanded, and so all the I don't know, what is that, wallpaper that they put around it? I think it was
wallpaper, but now it has a consistency of just paper.
Okay.
So I think they put the wallpaper on it and then they tack it down with the little tacks. But when you go in there and you feel it now, it's like it just feels like a piece of notebook paper.
Yeah, you can actually tear it if you're not careful. So what we're going to have to do is we'll pull that board loose, pull the staples out. We're going to get another board that is either have it cut or we'll get a similar size board. And what Marcy's done in the camper is she's added some accent wallpaper, which is a much higher end wallpaper than what came from the factory, and it's held up to the heat a lot better. So we'll probably just take a piece of that wallpaper that we use for accents and do that. Cover it with that.
The wood with that.
I think it would look neat going in and out. It'll add another pop of color right there next to where you did the cabinets and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it would look cool.
We actually have two different kind of wallpaper in there. We have one that has circles and slashes all over, and then the other one is like a wood grain pattern, but it is blue-ish.
Yeah, it looks like a kind of like a whitewashed fence, but it's got the blue, kind of the brownish of like a picket fence, and then some white. Which, by the way, you did a great job on it. It looks really good.
Well, thank you.
It changed the whole look of the camp. We also replaced the countertops.
Yeah, we did.
The countertops that we had was this really cheap, like laminate coating, and it just cracked. The heat, they couldn't handle the heat. So Marcy and I did what was it, like a cabinet kit or something like that? A cabinet paint kit?
No, I think we just, we mixed that up ourselves. I forgot what the counter plaster stuff was called, but we can look it up and share that information with you.
It was really cool. It was a really cool project. Again, we looked at it and said, we can do this ourselves, so we did it. But what was cool is Marcy mixed glitter that we had at the house in the paint. And so when you first put it on, you couldn't really see any glitter or anything. Well, over time, it gets scuffed up and the glitter's starting to come through now. So when you look from one side of the camper across the countertop, you see this little bit of glitter in it. Again, really cool.
It was subtle glitter too. It was like an opaque, not opaque. It was kind of a translucent white glitter. But whenever the light's hitting it a certain way, you're like, oh, what is that? Sparkling in the corner. But
that was a really good idea you had there.
But after time of wiping down the countertops and stuff like that. It has worn down a little bit, and now those pieces are starting to come out and
You know, I
pop.
wasn't really feeling that at first. I thought it was after we painted it and we covered it and we wiped it down. I thought, you know, it didn't end up showing, so it was kind of a waste of time. But now that we're about a year and a half out of it, I mean, it really, really looks cool. It's a great look. You guys probably know, but in campers, you have a lot of LEDs that you can turn on and off. And when we just have the LEDs over the bed lit up in the TV, it really sparkles. Probably the next thing on those counters that we're going to do is I want to change the faucet at some point. The faucet, it's a nice faucet, but it's not. I don't think it's a great faucet. It doesn't really fit with the look inside.
It doesn't. We have a pretty large sink inside to be such a small camper. And I would like to have one of the nozzles that you pull down and kind of squirt the sink out, because I'm really having a hard time getting areas wiped off, and then I think that they're clean, and then I go back and then there's like streaks all over the place. So.
And we did replace the mattress. One of the very first things we did, we went to, was it the Nebraska Furniture Mart?
It was IKEA.
Or IKEA, and we got this mattress. This camper has a real queen. It's not like a camper queen. It's a full size. I mean, not full size. It's a regular queen. So we got a regular queen mattress that really made all the difference. I love it. And
it wasn't too expensive.
We make it work. We have a king size bed at home, which is great. Here we have a queen size, but it still works out. You know, camping's supposed to be togetherness, so we're just a little closer together in the bed. And so that it works out well. I think you may have already mentioned that this is one of our. This is my second favorite campsite.
Oh, I haven't mentioned that it was.
This is my second favorite campsite.
One of our favorite campsites. Like, we always, when we ever come into this specific park, we always request the same camp space because of the way that it's backed up over there. And
yeah, so we're on a loop, and the way this loop is set up, we have a neighbor that's about 150 feet, 200 feet that way.
And then we have
direction
another.
I'm looking. We have another neighbor that's about 60 feet this way.
Behind us.
But they're positioned in a way that you don't really notice they're there.
Yeah, you don't really interact often.
So it's a great site. I also like Mineral Wells State Park. That's probably my favorite park. But Brownwood State Park down in Central Texas is an amazing park. It's got a beautiful lake. The staff there is really great too.
Yeah.
And they have clean bathrooms. That's really nice. And so we usually get one of 2 or 3 spots there too. It's interesting, once you start going to these state parks, you always seem to find a couple of spots that you like, and you always try to get them. And that's why we have to book spots 6 months out a lot of times. I got to tend to fire, so I'm going to go off camera.
Another spot that we like is Eisenhower State Park. That's another good one.
Oh, yeah.
And Fort Richardson is a good one.
Fort Richardson's really nice.
Yeah, we really like the Fort Richardson one.
It's got the walking tour of the original fort, parts of the original fort from, what was it, 1870s?
It was old. And, babe, the tongs are right there.
Oh.
Yeah, so we walked and did that one day. But it was like so hot outside that when you walk into these homes and they don't have any air conditioning or anything inside, they're preserved exactly the way they were whenever back in 1840 or whenever it was.
They were built in 1876.
Oh, 1876, close. But they had an infirmary. They showed where people ate their meals, and the places and the barracks where the people stayed, even if they have children.
Yeah.
And a wife. It was very, very cramped.
The officer houses. So the officer housing here, they're bigger than the barracks, but multiple officers. Families stay in one house. The coolest part for me, though, of this tour, the walking tour of the fort, was they have the original walls of the jail still standing. Now it's not 10 foot high. It's only about 2.5 to 3 foot high. But when you go down there and you're standing in it, they would put 3 and 4 people in there and they would stay in there the whole time. And just the two of us standing in there, there's no way that
No way.
I'll say this: you could barely, as an adult male, you could barely lay down comfortably in there as it is. When you put 2 or 3 or 4 people in there, they're laying on top of each other.
Basically, they're standing.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any room to lay unless they took turns and said, hey, you got this spot for 20 minutes. We're going to stand up against the wall. But
the other thing about this part, about the one we're talking about, Fort Richardson State Park, is the fort was so barren and it was just so miserable out here. They had, I want to say it was the highest number of AWOLs for a fort during that time frame because the soldiers just couldn't handle it. But you remember it was so hot that day. You just said that, I know.
Yeah.
But we went over to the munitions building, and the munitions, where they kept the munitions, and it's like a dugout.
Yeah.
So like the floor, you go in and you step down about 2 feet or so, and the walls are, I think, 18 inches thick.
I think it was called the ammo building, right?
Oh, ammo building. That's what munition is.
Oh.
And it was designed so that if the munition blew or the ammo blew, the ceiling would collapse in from top down and it would put the fire out. But the walls are like either 16 or 18 inches thick, and when you go in there, it was like 100 degrees that day, right? When we were out there.
It was.
You go
nice
in there
and
and it's like 75 degrees in there. It is so crazy to go from one side to the other and think about how cool it is in there.
It was very nice. And
even
cool.
the big barracks building, the way they had the windows situated, if the windows were open, it was like had a breeze that kind of like, it was almost like sitting in front of an oscillating fan. It was like it would blow through. That was pretty neat too.
But it was still hot. But going to where the ammunition was done was probably the coolest place on the property, even if people were having air conditioners, because Texas heat, summertime, an air conditioner in a little camper like this, it works overtime. And so
Fort Richardson State Park is situated on what's called the Lost Creek. It's in Jack County, Texas. It was one of the, obviously the late 1870s. It was one of the newer frontier forts when it finally was. They just basically the army walked away from it, and then the locals tore buildings down and just used the pieces for building commerce, like a mill and housing and stuff. So it's a really cool story. I would really recommend, if you have a chance, to look up Fort Richardson in Jacksboro, the city, Jack County, Texas. It's a really interesting story behind it.
And they have a little restaurant here called the Green Frog.
It's good.
Y'all take an opportunity to go visit there if you're coming down here to go to Fort Richardson.
They had
on Fridays they have, what do they have?
Fried catfish
buffet. But we never go in there on Friday. We always go when it's Thursday, because it's our tradition to we come here, or we come to wherever, and we put up our camper and hook up the water and electric and get it leveled and everything, and then we take it to we go out to eat instead of cooking.
Yeah, especially if it's not cooled off yet, it's pretty exhausting to set up. So what we do is, instead of trying to get the fire going and cooking, we will go eat. And this place, the Green Frog, again in Jacksboro, in the city of Jacksboro, it is so good. They have a hamburger steak there. You get it with mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh, that gravy's so good.
And onions, right?
Forget about it. Yeah.
What else did you got? Black-eyed peas.
Black-eyed peas. So good.
I don't eat beef. I know. Don't torch me or call me names and stuff, but I don't eat beef. But I did have the club sandwich, and they also have fried okra. So those things were delicious.
If you like salty bacon, they have a nice salty bacon that they use on their sandwiches.
Yes.
Those people wouldn't slam you for not eating beef if they had to be around your butt afterwards.
It's getting edited.
You need an exorcist. So I'm going to tend to fire. I'll let you go ahead and finish up the video. I'm going to flip everything over again. Then we probably need to check the chicken.
I think we probably need to check the shrimp more than the chicken.
Do you remember which one?
It's in one of the flatter ones. Probably. All right, well, let me let you go so I can help him figure out which one of those are shrimp, because nobody likes overcooked shrimp. We'll be back in a little while. So this is what we ended up with: chicken, potatoes, shrimp, and there's rice in the microwave. Yes, that is a lot of pepper, and I like it. So we had to leave early from camping. We have a friend.
Smile now.
Do what you want. It's recording. We have a friend that came in from out of town, and we are going to go visit with them for a little while. But also, our tow vehicle is acting up, so we need to figure out what's going on with that. You got anything else to add?
Nope.
Also, we stopped at Chewy's for lunch because we haven't had anything to eat today, and then
I love Chewy's.
We both do.
Just me.
Okay, just him. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the ring button.